Hey there riders, Journo Kris here today, and I wanted to do a comparison on the Husqvarna Svartpilen 401, which has seen a big price drop here in Australia and which I got a chance to borrow from MotoHUB in Sydney recently, and I want to compare that to the Ninja 400. Now these machines hold very different positions as to what's on offer, but are now similarly priced. The price drop on the Svartpilen 401 is almost 4,000 Aussie dollars, so you're getting a very trick machine for the same price as the Ninja 400, which has seen great success since being introduced and follows on from the Ninja 300. But the Svartpilen is a 401, that's better than a Ninja 400, right? Well, it's not quite that simple. The two styling packages are as different as you can get. The Svartpilen 401 is European styling, naked bike, edgy and pretty out there. The finish quality is exceptional and there's some real premium features like the wheels and suspension. The Ninja 400 is your typical sports bike, fully fared, throwing back to their World Superbike racer and looking the business, although obviously looks are very subjective between bikes. One thing to keep in mind is that fairings allow much of the bike to be hidden and cleaned up, although the Z400 does an exceptional job as a naked bike option compared to the Ninja 400. With that said, the quality of the Ninja is great, and after a year, a wash will make it look like new. Now the two bikes are separated by their engine types. The Svartpilen runs the KTM 390 373cc single cylinder power plant and features ride-by-wire. That's snazzy new technology that allows the inclusion of ride modes, traction control and such, which aren't included here on this model. They aren't really necessary either, but maybe we'll see them in the future, as their inclusion seems to have driven the adoption of ride-by-wire alongside Europe's demands for electronic diagnosis on bikes. The Ninja 400 features a 399cc parallel twin, arguably the most popular type of beginner bike power plant, with no ride-by-wire but doing a good job of mimicking a 4-cylinder's hard and high revving nature, which is ideal for a sports bike and has a broad range of power and a forgiving nature. There's not the character of a V-twin, but you trade off that more torquey, raw edge for that revvy nature. There's not a huge difference in performance either. The Svartpilen 401 doesn't have the same top end, but the two bikes are pretty evenly matched through the rev range with strong low to mid ranges, while the Svartpilen hits the red line sooner and will sign off, where the Ninja will keep pulling. On the road, it'd be hard to fully appreciate that on a daily basis, with both offering plenty of fun where you're doing your actual riding through the mid-range with plenty of usable power. The Svartpilen 401 is claimed to offer 43 horsepower at 9,000 RPM with 37 Newton meters of torque at 7,000 RPM. Compare that to the Ninja 400 and you're getting 49 horsepower at 10,000 RPM and 38 Newton meters of torque at 8,000 RPM. Now keeping in mind those are claimed figures, and several dyno comparisons show the bikes very close together. The Ninja 400 is also a super light machine with neutral stable handling, a comfortable seating position for me at 180 cm and plenty of room to move around on. The Svartpilen 401 on the other hand is a compact but taller machine, equally light but much more aggressive, with a faster turn-in and telepathic ability to go where you want, almost before you think of it. Being a naked bike does up the engagement in these situations, but also seemed the more hoony of the two machines. And claim specs have the Svartpilen 16 kilograms lighter, but it's almost 5 litres down on fuel at a 9.5 litre capacity versus the Ninja's 14. Now both offer an upright seating position with tall bars, making for an easier learning experience, but the Svartpilen 401 offers a much taller seat height at 835mm. While feeling super compact, it felt much taller as a machine overall. The Ninja 400 on the other hand is down at 785mm for the seat height, which is basically 2 inches lower for the Imperialists. The Svartpilen 401's seat did feel much more comfortable than the Ninja 400's though, not that that would be particularly hard. The big difference here is going to be that on the Ninja 400 you can crouch down for some wind protection from the screen, where the Svartpilen again is the more hoony upright style without the wind protection. Yes, that's a naked bike versus a sports bike difference. Big ticket items on the Svartpilen 401 are the WP suspension, which is a set of 43mm USD forks, while the rear features a WP monoshock without a linkage, offering preload adjustability. The lack of adjustability is typical for the segment, and for me at 70-ish kilos, it's an ideal setup, which is closer to what we've seen on the 2019 Yamaha R3 than the Ninja 400. Now, having ridden the Ninja 400 for a year, it's possible I'm more used to its springers, but I think it'd have an advantage over rough roads due to a softer overall setup, where the WP items come out ahead over more normal road conditions. The WP shock was a standout though, with more control and suppleness over bumps than many of the other basic systems, where big bumps are just turned into less controlled jolts. There was really good control on that shock. The Ninja features 41mm forks in comparison, with a bottom link Unitrack preload adjustable shock. It's also worth noting the Svartpilen offers 142mm of travel on the front compared to the Ninja's 120, while the rear is 150mm to the Ninja's 130. So there's a bit of a difference in the amount of travel you've got to use there as well. Brakes are also an area the Svartpilen 401 really shines in, with Biber second-rate Brembo brakes essentially being fitted. The 401 includes a 320mm front rotor grasped by a seriously powerful 4-piston Biber caliper with class-leading stopping power, which is saying something, as the 310mm rotor on the Ninja 400 with a Nissan dual-piston caliper is a seriously good setup. The Ninja 400 has more than enough power and feel on those brakes, but the extra bite and power on the Svartpilen is noticeable, which again ties into that hoony nature. Both bikes feature ABS too, and you'd be crazy not to get modern ABS, with no annoying early intervention on these bikes in normal conditions, even from the rears, which tend to be the more sensitive of the two ends. Now, with the Svartpilen 401 running a 230mm rotor on the back, there's a single piston caliper. The Ninja, on the other hand, has a 220mm rotor with a dual piston caliper. The Svartpilen did have a bit more bite and power here, but the bike was practically brand new, while the Ninja 400 I regularly ride has thousands of kilometers and plenty of wear on those pads. When it comes to details, the bikes are generally well matched. Both feature a slipper clutch, the ABS as mentioned, a 6-speed gearbox, and are going to fall into a similar insurance category. Although the Husqvarna may be ahead being a naked bike, as these typically are cheaper to insure. However, previously having that much higher buy-in cost may push the premium for that bike up. Now, the Svartpilen does feature some really trick pieces of kit as well, like the spoked wheels, which were top notch and really eye-catching. They take the same size tyres, with both running 110 70s on 17-inch fronts and 150 60s on 17-inch rears, with the Svartpilen featuring an eye-catching Pirelli Scorpion Rally STR tyre compared to the Ninja's Dunlop GPR 300s, which are a kind of sports commuting option on a lightweight rim. Now, this gives the Svartpilen a bit more off-road cred as well as a cooler profile, but if you're only ever on tarmac, maybe less of a draw card for you as a rider, unless it's the look that you're after. Of course, keeping the spoked wheels clean will be a bit more of a challenge, so there's that too, and you'd really want to take care of them, as they are an awesome feature. Where you might be a bit more blasé about the regular rims on the Ninja. The Svartpilen also has an aftermarket style exhaust, which is certainly more pleasing to the eye than the standard item found on the Ninja 400. Of course, buying an aftermarket exhaust is part of the fun for many riders, but this could be a feature which saves you money if you don't feel the need to buy an aftermarket exhaust, and that can always go to other modifications or your next bike. Being a naked bike also makes everything on the Svartpilen 401 a lot more accessible, where on the Ninja 400 you'll need to remove fairings. But with that said, it's an easy job on the Ninja 400 thanks to a very well designed fairing system, while the Svartpilen features a cool single headlight and sporty indicators. In comparison, the Ninja has the big old school type indicators, but the light throw from the dual headlights is exceptional, and I just didn't get a chance to test the Svartpilen at night, so it's hard to say whether it would match up to what the Ninja 400 is offering in the headlight department. Both feature easy to read dashes, but the Svartpilen has a single round digital clock, very Street Fighter styled. The Ninja, on the other hand, features an old school tacho and a digital display, and both have gear indicators, which is a nice touch. Where the Ninja 400 is your typical sports bike with well integrated fairings and clean lines, just in need of a tail tidy or a fender eliminator, as I've got fitted on this bike, the Svartpilen 401 already has a swing arm mounted rear plate to keep that tail clean, while little details like the levers, top triple, radiator guards and tank rack add to the overall package. So each of these bikes have gone in a very different direction, but in many ways are strong matches across a number of metrics. For most riders, the type of bike they like should be the biggest factor in choosing. Do you like naked bikes or roadsters like the Svartpilen 401, or something more sports bike orientated? But if you seriously don't have a preference, both offer exceptional fun and performance for a new rider or experienced riders looking for a smaller capacity machine. If you've got any questions, as always, comment down below and don't forget to sub and hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there and thanks for watching.